If you would have told me Cloud Gouger was coming to its final uses, I would have called you a liar. If you would have told me Chihiro was getting ready to go all out, I would have said, nah, it ain't time yet. But if you would have told me that our boy HAKURI was gonna muster up the courage to not only stand up to his big bro, but confront himself in order to do that, I would have called you delusional. But good God, it all happened. This chapter really enforces the idea and pretty much the overarching moral of the series that in order to move forward, you must first face yourself. I love those in anime, by the way. Anime and manga, I should say. I love that about Kagurabachi because for as little dialogue that we get, Okazono Sensei never strays away from that main point of confronting the man in the mirror. So sick. As y'all know, man, I'm DomoSenpai, and today we're going over chapter 32 of Kagurabachi. If y'all are new here, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. We got goals to check off this year, and slowly but surely we will be doing all of that. The support I've been getting from y'all, not only in the comments, but Twitter, Twitch, all of that has been insane. I thought I was tripping, but it seems like more good things are starting to happen around me, and to be honest, it's much needed. I have a few more things that I hope actually pop off, so if y'all see any more changes, trust, that means things really happen. So make sure y'all grab your popcorn and drinks and strap in because we are about to go on a ride. So tell a friend of a friend of a friend and let's get this thing started. Let me start off by talking about this color page because simplicity has been the name of the game from our very own Takeru Hokuzono. And this one isn't too far from that, conveying his love for movies as usual. I know I made a critique in my previous chapter review about it being too simplistic, but from time to time, these do hit. I might end up using this for something very important I have going on in the background, so make sure y'all stay tuned for that one. But we pretty much pick up where we left off, facing the boss of the Hishaku, which, if I didn't make it apparent in my last video, I think this guy is full of shit. Just due to the simple fact that it's pretty early, and this guy showing up to stop Chihiro doesn't make as much sense. But what do I know, right? I'm just some guy on YouTube who reviews manga. Anyway, the narration that we get in this chapter has a lot of significance because there are a few instances that had me like, what was that? Starting off with Chihiro being on the brink of death and Cloud Gouger unleashing lightning beyond its limits, signifying that Chihiro not only really knows what he is doing with these blades, obviously he's the son of the creator, so why wouldn't he? But also the blade accepting him and giving its all to help him succeed. I know I've mentioned this before, but you have to treat the blades as if they are their own entities, because when you think about it, a lot of the dialogue that goes on behind them really enforces that process. The head of the Hishaku trying to enslave the blade, bending them to their will. Meanwhile, Chihiro is working with the blade to take it to new heights. I really like the idea of them being their own beings. It's really cool. Chihiro decided to give it his all and escape the head of the Hishaku's magic, and I gotta hand it to the guy. No? Not funny? Yeah, I thought so. I don't know why I was trying that, but anyway. What was interesting was the fact that while Chihiro did sever his arm, the guy said that he needed to do that in order to keep up. Why though? And another thing, one more thing. Why is he so calm about it? Bro is really not fazed by losing his arm unless he has a way of reattaching it? Maybe I'm thinking too far ahead, but that just came across as eerie to me because it was reminiscent of Chihiro sacrificing his arm just to beat Sojo. And the reason we were okay with that is because we had Char to repair it. So what does bro have up his sleeve? I'm sorry, just thought I'd try it again. Obviously, it's not gonna work. Back to the story. Chihiro understands that in order to truly come out victorious, he needs to not hold back and give it his all. And to recall what I said about the narration having important panels, this one stuck out to me the most. It says that by getting in touch with his deepest levels, Chihiro could clearly feel Cloud Gouger's impending demise. What does this mean? First of all, let's give Chihiro a round of applause because for the little time he had to master Cloud Gouger, he sure as hell made sure to fully grasp its capabilities. But who's to say his father didn't already ingrain that in him? What I gather from this is that since Cloud Gouger is in half, there's only so much that it can do before it completely shatters, and that in itself presents more than its own share of problems. Because as we've seen before, if you don't pull up on these sorcerers with all your eggs in the basket, it never ends well for you. Chihiro also recognizes what I hope all of you guys did as well, which is the fact that this guy hasn't used his sorcery yet. You might be like, but bro, he used it to constrain Chihiro. While that may be true, I'm talking about combat sorcery. Notice that the entire time he was fighting Chihiro, and as we've seen, Chihiro was using some of his best moves, he was just using straight up hand-to-hand combat. No sorcery involved. So in actuality, we don't know what this guy is capable of. But to our wholesome Chihiro, who, if y'all ain't know, is really growing every chapter, the thing that was most important to him was making sure that his homies was alright. One of the most telling things of this chapter was Chihiro learning to prioritize on the fly, which coincides with what I just said. We've seen him before hesitate while trying to make a decision, but down here, in this moment, he takes into consideration checking on his homies, defeating the enemy for the sake of his father, and retrieving both the Shinichi and Inten while remaining calm. This will be important to keep in mind because for some reason I feel like this Hishaku guy is gonna hang those choices in front of him, and that's gonna suck. Now this is where things start to ramp up for me because we move to HAKURI, who is easily one of my favorite characters in this manga. He faces off against his older brother SOYA, whom we, come to terms with is a maniac. Bro was beating the stuffing out of him. And the whole time, HAKURI was having that inner monologue moment that great characters always have before they do some certified crazy shit. So while SOYA was trying to make Chihiro out to be some brother kidnapping scrub, HAKURI emphatically denies it, letting SOYA know that Chihiro isn't like that. In which we get a flashback of Shiba teaching HAKURI sorcery. Now, you might be wondering, why is teaching a guy who has sorcery beaten into his head sorcery? Well, it's a little more deeper than just teaching him sorcery, so let me explain. As Shiba explains how sorcery and spirit energy works, we find out that HAKURI naturally developed his for self-defense from the abuse of his family. That leads to the fact that somewhere deep down, HAKURI repressed his ability. That's when Shiba hit us with the following. You believed you couldn't do anything, and without being conscious of it, you put up barriers. Being bullied causes its fair share of problems, but it's not just the fact that he was bullied. He was bullied by those who were supposed to protect him. That caused so much strife in his life early on that he unconsciously held himself back until now. Now he has friends he can rely on. Now he has friends who will help him and be there for him when he's in a bad predicament. And with knowing that he's finally free, he frees himself from his shackles and unleashes his first Iso. And I was like, damn! While it may have been weak, which definitely did make me laugh a bit, it was enough for the setup of Chihiro breaking through the barrier and striking SOYA in his blind spot. All for us to see our queen, Hyuki, making her way down the stairs behind the Hishaku head, whom, amidst of all of the chaos, utters the fact that Chihiro exceeded his expectations. This next chapter is going to be a spectacle because it feels like we are close to the climax. Everybody is going to be in the same place at the same time, and boy, let me tell you, it's going to be a sight for sore eyes when Chihiro, HAKURI, and Hyuki have a team-up attack that takes this guy out. And I will be there to cover it all. Let me know what you guys thought about this chapter down below. I'm in the process of writing a video detailing a study of Chihiro's character development and what it means to the series. A character study, if you will. Been thinking long and hard about where I want to take my content so we can get to the next level, and I think that'll be a start for the most part. Leave a like if you enjoy, subscribe if you're new. I want to get to a point where I have videos coming out almost every day, but to do that, I got to get consistent first. We're on the way to 10K, and hopefully we can reach that by the end of the summer, and with all of your support, I believe that we can. As usual, it's your boy, DomoSenpai, and I will catch y'all in the next one.